Hey everyone, welcome to the investor.bet NRL Finals Week 1 try scorer projections video. We have 9 selections across the 4 games coming up this weekend, and in this video I'm going to go through each selection and share with you the reason why for that selection based off overall matchups, history, and recent trends. So I'm going to break down, I'm not just going to say this player, we're going to go through the reasons why for that selection. It starts with one of the tools from the NRL Bet Finders, which is the try scorer matchup tab, which allows us to compare where teams score their tries compared to where teams concede it. And then break that down a little bit further with looking at the recent form, looking through where they've been trending lately, have they been favoring their left or right side, and has their defense been favoring tries on the left or right side, looking for those best possible matches. So for the Storm Bulldogs game, this is one where we just have the one selection, and it's not like an exciting one, just the kind of the way that it goes sometimes. But Storm here favorites at home, and as you can see straight away looking at this, the Bulldogs, their worst defensive position is against the left wing. Every other position on the field, they're basically a top 3 if not top 6 defense and give up very few tries, and it's only the opponent left winger and on their right edge where they've been hit hard. They rank 12th there overall. They've conceded to the opponent left winger in 4 of their last 6 games. Right now, with the Bulldogs on paper as their team is listed, Xavier Coates is going to match up against Blake Wilson, who's only played 6 games this season, and I do expect the Storm to target that. The only caveat to playing Coates in this game is, will the Storm go to the right a little bit more, considering Bronson Xerri and Marcelo Montoya are out on that left edge defense for the Bulldogs. However, I think they may move into that center position and they might do some mix and match with their lineup. But right now, it's just been on that right side where they've been conceding tries, and I think the best option is just taking Coates. He's $1.85 at Neds. He's scored in 5 of his last 7 games and a total of 9 tries in those 5 games. He's scored in 4 of his last 5 previously against the Bulldogs, and overall on the season, the Storm have been pretty left side heavy, but it's been even more so lately. Like, a lot of their tries coming on this left-hand side of the field. They're without Ryan Papenhuyzen, they're without Jerome Hughes, so that takes away some attacking weapons, and they really need to look to capitalize on Coates on that left edge. So he's going to be the only one selection in this game. I'm going to share with you the other potential bets and the reasons why I didn't take them. Other one for the Storm is in the second row, Eli Katoa. The Bulldogs, whilst yes, they've conceded to a second rower in 3 of the last 4 games, they've only conceded to the right second rower in 2 games this entire season. So where Katoa plays hasn't really been a great matchup. He has scored in 2 of his last 4 against the Bulldogs and 3 of his last 5 games. So he knows how to find the try line, but I just don't think it's worthwhile playing him in this game. Similar for the Bulldogs, their second row matchup, like Bulldogs score a lot of tries, particularly through Jacob Preston, if not through William Kikau. But Melbourne Storm have conceded to a second rower in 4 of their last 6 games, but up until round 22 this season, they hadn't given up a try to either second rower or the lock forward. So I don't think it's a really great matchup for Preston or Kikau here. Kikau scored in 2 of his last 4 and 2 of his last 5 against Melbourne. Preston scored in 1 of his last 5. That was a hat-trick that he got against the undermanned Panthers side, and 1 of his last 2 against the Storm. But just with the way that the Storm have defended this year, I don't think it's a great game to play either of those. For the other situation for the Bulldogs, right wing is probably the way to go. Like right now, that's expected to be Blake Wilson at this stage. Whilst the Storm do rank 14th there, they have only conceded to the right wing in 2 of the last 7 games. One of those was where Mark Nawaqli scored the 4 tries against them. So that's definitely inflated their overall season average. Wilson has scored in 2 of his 6 this year, and this will be his first game against Melbourne. But with the way this kind of all matches up, Xavier Coates is the only try scorer I want to play. I also do think this is going to be a low scoring game between these 2 sides, as they're both undermanned / struggling in attack and the top 2 defenses in the competition. So it's not like a game that we can confidently say will be a shootout or even something close to it. And in that situation, I'm really cautious with which try scorers I choose to take. We don't need to back 3 or 4 try scorers just because there's only the one game on Friday night. We just can pick and choose where we want to allocate more selections. Similar to what we did last week, where We had more selections in the Dolphins-Raiders game and the Titans-Tigers game, which both ended up being really high-scoring games. The first game on Saturday is the New Zealand Warriors against the Penrith Panthers. And we have two plays in this game, and for both sides, I expect them to heavily favor their left edge in attack. Warriors will go to the left side. That's the better matchup for them. And then also for the Panthers, I think they'll go to the left edge more often than not. That's the way they've been trending in recent times. I'm not going to play anyone for the Warriors. The two players that I looked at is firstly on the left wing, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Penrith have conceded to the left winger in 3 of their last 6 for a total of 5 tries. Tuivasa-Sheck has scored in 6 of his last 10 and 1 of his last 3 against Penrith. I just don't think it's worthwhile playing him in this game. Also for the Warriors in the second row, Laker Halassim. The Panthers have conceded to a second rower in 3 of their last 5 games for a total of 5 tries. He scored in 8 of his last 13. Didn't score in the one game previously against the Panthers. But if I was to play somebody for the Warriors, he'd be the way I'd go, better odds. The concern obviously for playing the Warriors here, if you just look at each of these teams, their last 5 finals games, the Warriors have scored 12 or less points in 4 of their last 5 finals, and the Panthers have conceded 10 or less points in 4 of their last 5 finals. The only time in those last 5 games the Panthers have conceded more than 10 points was the 2023 grand final against the Broncos, where they had to come back and win. There's every chance the Warriors struggle to score here. Now for the Panthers, I'm going left edge. I think Penrith will be going all guns blazing towards the left side of the field. They've got Casey McLean at left center, Brian To'o on the left wing, named to play, and I'm going to back both of these selections. So firstly, Casey McLean, he's 235 at Neds. The Warriors have conceded to the left center in 2 of their last 4 games. Casey McLean has scored in 6 of his last 7 and just hasn't scored in his 1 game previously against the Warriors, but in outstanding form, he should get opportunities. And if he doesn't score, then on the left wing, Brian To'o should get a try. He's $1.91. Very happy backing both of these players. The Warriors have conceded to the opponent left winger in 10 of their last 13 games for a total of 14 tries. To'o's scored in 4 of the 13 games he's played this season and has also scored in 4 of his last 5 games against the Warriors. So, yeah, with this matchup, I'd see very minimal opportunities where the Panthers to go to the right. They'll get success going left, and the way they play, I think they'll really look to exploit that right edge defense of the Warriors. The other game on Saturday night, the Sharks at home against the Roosters. This is the second elimination final. For the Sharks, we're going Ronaldo Mulitalo. Now, the Roosters do rank second against this position, but they've given up 4 tries to the left winger across their last 5 games. There's been 2 doubles scored against them. Mulitalo is $2.05 at the TAB for this game. He scored in 4 of his last 6, so this low ranking. He wasn't getting many opportunities early in the year. That's picked up quite a bit of late with 8 tries across those last 6 games, and he has scored in 4 of his last 5 against the Roosters. Now, he does have a big job defending on Nawaqanitawase and making sure he shuts him down, but I also think he can get a try in this game. The other selection for the Sharks is in the halves. Now, you could really either go Braden Trindle or Nico Hines, but Trindle's carrying a bit of an ankle injury, so I'm going to go Nico Hines, who's $4.75 at Bet365. The Roosters have conceded to an opponent half in 3 of the last 4 games. Overall in the year, it's been fairly even, whether they've conceded to a 5/8 or a halfback. It's only been 1 more try to a 5/8 than it has been to a halfback. Hines has scored in 1 of his last 6, but did score last time against the Roosters, so he's going to be the way that I'm going to go in this game. And we're getting a price very close to $5, so it's a very low risk play, and he is very capable of finding a try. And with a big game, he was initially suspended for this game, now free to play. There's a little narrative that he can go over for a try, and it all ends happily. For the Roosters now, doing something slightly different here. I'm going to back Nawaqanitawase and Tupou to combine for 2 or more tries. Now, that's $1.80 at Sportsbet. So either Nawaqanitawase can get a double, Tupou can get a double, and they can get 1 each. There's all the different ways that it can come about. The reason why I'm doing this is the Roosters score tries on the edges. They're the number 1 team at scoring tries through the wing position, and it's not ultra clear which side of the field they're going to go to, and it potentially could be they have success going left early, they'll stick to going that way, but they've recently been having success going right. On paper, left looks probably the slightly better option, but 7 tries to Nawakazi in the past 2 weeks. They'd be silly not to try and find points over there. The Sharks have conceded to the right wing in 3 of the last 5. They've conceded to the left wing in 2 of the last 5. Ozzy on the right wing has scored 7 tries in his last 2 games and scored in 1 of 2 against the Sharks when playing in the center position. Tupou scored in 10 of his last 13 games and has scored in 4 of his last 5 against the Sharks. If the Roosters are to win this game, these 2 players are going to have to combine for 2 or more tries. As you instead and you were wanting to back the Roosters to win, I'd rather take this option, as I don't think they're going to get many points from other avenues. I think this is where it's going to come from, right out on the edges. So we're going Mulatalo, Hines, and Noah Quinn and Tupou to combine for 2 or more. And then the final game, we've got the Raiders against Broncos. 3 try scorers in this one, and we're playing 2 of them half stake. So there's going to be 1 full stake, which is for the Raiders, and that is Jed Stewart. So he is named to play on the right wing, and he's $2.15 at Bet365. I'm expecting that's where he does line up. When he first came to the side, he's playing on the left wing a lot when Savage was in the side. Now Tamale is back in the team, playing on the left wing. Stewart's moved over to the right. He played on the right wing a couple of weeks ago against the Tigers. Didn't play last week. Tamale was on the left wing again. So I think that's how they're going to line up. Broncos have conceded to the opponent right wing in their last 2 games for 3 tries. This will be his first time facing them. He's only scored in 1 of his last 5, and that was against the Tigers, but should get opportunities here. I think the Raiders are going to go right here against the Broncos. You'll notice they rank 15th defensively, the Broncos left edge, compared to the 7th best right edge defense, and Raiders aren't a big scoring team down that left side. So I really like Jed Stewart here at better than even money at that 215. You could also play the right center, which is Matthew Timoko. Broncos have conceded to the right center in 2 of their last 4 games and do rank 15th there defensively. Timoko has scored in 2 of his last 5 for 4 tries and did score earlier this season against the Broncos. So wouldn't talk you out of backing him either as the alternate selection there for the Raiders. I'm going to play 2 players for the Broncos, but I am going to half stake both of them. I think Broncos are going to be very heavy left edge here. As much as you might look at this and see the right center 2nd versus 17th and Raiders rank last there, they've only conceded to the right center in 1 of their last 9 games. So a lot of those tries coming back in the early part of the season and not lately. So you want to avoid Katoni Staggs. Left center, Hammett Shibasi comes back into the side. He's $3 at TAB, half stake. Raiders have conceded to the left center in 6 of the last 7 games. He has scored in his last 2 for 3 total tries. Hasn't scored in his only game previously against the Raiders, but he has dropped from the side in their final game against the Melbourne Storm, comes back in here. Broncos should be very heavily left focused in this game, and he should get opportunities. So he's the first half staker, and then obviously on the wing, Josiah Karapan, who's $2.25 at Bet365, also going to half stake him. Raiders have conceded to the left wing in 3 of the last 6 games. He has scored in 4 straight and 8 of 10 games on the season, and this will be his first time facing the Raiders. So I'm going to recap all the selections that we have. Firstly, for the Melbourne Storm, Xavier Coates $1.85 at Neds. For the Panthers, we're going Casey McLean $2.35 at Neds and Brian Toho $1.91 at Neds. For the Sharks, Ronaldo Mulatalo $2.05 at TAB, Nico Hines $4.75 at Bet365, and then for the Roosters, Noah Quinn and Tupou to combine for 2 or more tries at $1.80, and for the Raiders, Jed Stewart $2.15 at Bet365, and then half staking Jahamet Shivasar $3 at TAB, and Josiah Karapani half stake $2.25 at Bet365. Those are all the try scorers for the first week of finals. I'll also be posting semi-final try scorers, prelim final try scorers, and grand final try scorers. So stay tuned for those videos across the next few weeks. This is a really exciting time of the season. Obviously, 2 games this week. teams get a second chance, but we have 2 elimination finals on the Saturday, so it sets up to be a really good round. And these are like really good contests with these matches. If you haven't seen it already, the video is already out previewing these games, going through the stats, the betting history, all the things you need to know to make the best bets on the matches, whether it's going to be which team's going to win, how much they're going to win by, is it going to be high or low scoring, all that kind of information. Really appreciate you guys watching, following along, being part of this channel. Hopefully you found these videos insightful. Really appreciate a few of you guys leaving comments on last week's video of how it's helped you throughout the season. It really means a lot for me to see that it's making the difference for you and helping you see success with your bets on the NRL. Really awesome to see, and I love to see people making money from their sports betting, because it's definitely something you can make money out of when you have the strategies, not only of your bankroll and how you're managing your staking and mindset, combined with how you're deciding which bets you put on and making sure you're putting plus EV bets on by breaking down the probability and doing the research into the games. I'm going to be posting a lot more content, strategies, things you can do to just overall level up your betting and make more money. Stay tuned for those videos over the next few weeks through the off season. The goal is to make 2026 your most profitable betting year. So really important, go through, see where you're at for 2025, look at your results, track that through to the end of the year, and then start picking up these strategies that is going to help you make more next year. There's going to be a new masterclass coming soon. I'm going to dive into different strategies as well. So exciting times coming up. NFL season's underway. NFL is such a good sport to bet on through the off season, and a really good one to make money off. There's a lot more good betting opportunities even compared to the NRL, because not only can go for teams and sides and totals, but you can break down players with the passing, the receiving, the rushing, with so many different ways. Similar to like kind of what you can do with NBA. However, with NFL, there's a lot more game script involved that you can tap into of how teams play and what's going to likely happen in that matchup. And as the season progresses, it gets even easier to predict that. So that's what I'll be doing right through the summer, and also betting on horse racing. We're into the spring carnival now. There is the 50-unit profit guarantee for my InvestorBet racing selections through September, October, November. All you have to do is join in September and you qualify for the 50-unit guarantee. So if we don't make at least 50 units profit, then, and for 50 units profit for a $50 bettor, that's $2,500. If you don't make at least that much based on the official results, which you can see on the website and track it after every race day, then you get an additional 3 months free of your membership. So definitely check that out. Have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy the games. Good luck if your team's still in the finals. Hopefully they go well. Enjoy it, and all the best with your bets.